I know. My can kind of took a little bit of a bite there. Got a broken piece. Are we on? Oh, good morning. Happy to be on here Monday, April 4th. No April Fool's Day. No speed bumps on the 3 Mile Bridge or any interstates or anything else. So we'll get to that on what we had on Friday, but all good. A couple things we did want to talk about, things that happened last week. Excited about. We had the Rotary Youth Leadership Awards, which is a program that Rotary does across Northwest Florida. Casey and I went out at 7 o'clock on Friday. We were out at Adventures Unlimited. I told him, I said it was nice to see the steam rising off the Blackwater, but I probably could have done with about another hour of sleep. But it was great to see so many students, high school students and leaders from Pensacola to Lake City that were there being a part of it. And I saw a lot of Pensacola residents there in helping and participating in that and helping those students achieve leadership and learn skills. And I think that's a great thing to do, and I was very happy to be a part of it. Certainly, as I said, there were a lot of leadership from people in the city of Pensacola, within the city citizens, not necessarily the staff here, but the citizens in Pensacola, and we certainly appreciate that, and I was glad to participate in that with those individuals. Also had a lot of fun this weekend. We had a little kickball game. I got to play with Step 1 Automotive at a kickball game that they had. They challenged the leadership staff at the sheriff's office. It was a great event. It was a lot of fun. They also presented $10,000 to the Sheriff's Foundation, and we had a lot of fun playing kickball. I will say Step 1 Automotive that I played on won 3-2, but it was a lot of fun. We had a good time. It was good to see Chip was the pitcher, did well. Tommy was there as well. In fact, I told both of them, I said, you may have to come work at PPD on kickball because the PPD got beat bad by the fire department. But anyways, I told him we might have to do some work there. But it was a lot of fun for a great event, a great cause, and we certainly had fun with that. Reminder, this is the last chance for your 2022 City of Pensacola Citizens Academy. Registration for the 2022 Citizens Academy is now open, and the deadline to apply is Sunday, April 10th. This is a free 9-week course that provides opportunity for citizens to get an inside look at the City of Pensacola government, including tours, demonstrations, and more. We haven't had this for 2 years with COVID, and so we're very happy to get it coming back. We did this in 2019. It was very successful, very good. We really, I think, have some great things to show you, some behind-the-scenes look at the City Hall, the International Airport, Port of Pensacola, Pensacola Police Department, Pensacola Fire Department, and more. Learn more and apply at cityofpensacola.com. I think if you haven't had the opportunity, if you really want to know what goes on here on a daily basis and how things work, I highly encourage you to be a part of it. It's, again, 9 different meetings that show you 9 different ways to do it, and I really appreciate our PIO team for putting that together. I know we've skipped that for 2 years, but they've got a great program that's coming together, and I hope many of you will look to apply, and it will be, I think it'll be well worth your while, and you'll get a lot out of it. The next mayor's cleanup is scheduled for April 30th, and the portion of North Hill neighborhood and surrounding area. Neighborhood cleanups allow city sanitation customers in the cleanup area to place eligible items on the curb to be picked up free of charge. Eligible items include appliances, electronics, furniture, tires, paint, and more. Visit cityofpensacola.com to learn more about the cleanup schedule. Autism Pensacola will be doing a press conference right after this. We hope to join us for a press conference for Autism Pensacola, Pensacola Fire Department, and Pensacola Police Department this morning at 11 a.m. A press conference will take place at Fire Station 1, located at 400 East Cervantes Street. So right after this, we'll be doing that. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to read a proclamation earlier last week about it. So again, we're looking forward to the press conference here. Also, let me call to your attention that we will have no press conferences on April 11th or April 18th. These are canceled, and we will resume our weekly press conference on Monday, April 25th. The press conference on April 25th will begin at 9:45 instead of 9:30. So we have a lot of movement in press conferences for April. But again, we will be next week. I will be in D.C. on a couple of things, going up there certainly to meet with several agencies, as well as have a chance to go to and meet the new leadership team of ST in the United States. So I'm looking forward to meeting with them. And then on the following week, Councilwoman Broughton had wanted, I think last year in September, the chamber took an inner city trip to go to Louisville, and we learned a lot from that. But Councilwoman Broughton wanted us to go to Savannah. She had been there and seen a lot of stuff. So the chamber, I think, picked up the Savannah as their next destination, and we will be leaving on the 18th. And I know the management team here will be with me. We'll be traveling to Savannah for a couple of days to learn some things about what they've done as a city. I know some of the things they've done we've tried to emulate here already. The parent university is one of those, but I think Councilwoman Broughton went there and learned a lot about their downtown and their historical stuff. So we're looking forward to being a part of that and look forward to going. And I know there will be several other private businesses from the private sector as well that will be going. So we look to learn what we can from those things. I think they're always great trips. Years ago, I remember going to St. Louis for one, Norfolk for one. It's always good to see how other cities do things and what's going on. I think Memphis was another one I remember in the early 2000s going to. So I think these certainly are good things and a chance for us to learn. And I know that Kareth participated last year. I was not able to, but he went to Louisville and learned a lot from them. So we're looking forward to seeing what we can learn from Savannah. So those are things that are going on. I'm getting slightly off my talking points here, which always scares Casey. But I did want to say a couple things I know that have happened over the last couple of weeks related to as we continue to look at things with Gulf Power and what is happening. Gulf Power, Florida Power and Light, the rate structure, and certainly things going on with solar. From this standpoint, we continue. We've been meeting with all of our council members and look to engage back with FP&L about a franchise agreement. But whether we do or not, a lot of that will be dependent upon if it's a good deal for us. And we certainly understand the challenges that all of you are facing out there with rates, and we want to be in a situation that is fair to our citizens and what they're paying, and again, working with them. At the same time, we continue to press forward with what we think is the right thing to do to create as few emissions as possible. We'd love to see it get to zero, but again, fewer emissions are always better for everything that we're doing. We've been focused on that. Renewables are certainly a part of that have zero emission, and solar, whether it's our solar, whether it's solar that is being done by FP&L, we certainly will be supportive of that. And I think it's unfortunate that we continue to work through things. We don't see this at City of Pensacola as an adversarial issue. We simply are looking to do the best for our community as we work through this. And toward that end, there's no real side but what's best for Pensacola, and we're going to continue to pursue that. I do agree with those people who are solar advocates. I don't understand the no net metering legislation. It seems to fly in the face. At the same time, getting upset about solar on an industrial scale and the opportunities that now have the opportunity to reach here in Escambia County also seems just as crazy to me. So again, at the City of Pensacola, we don't look to produce a side. The only side is going to be what's best for Pensacola and its residents, and we're going to continue to pursue that avenue, and we think both of those are going to be critical as we look. Finally, I will say again, the weather has gotten better. We see more and more people out there. I hope you're having a chance to take advantage of that. I will say it is amazing to me to see what we do as a community and how we host people. I just had the opportunity to take pictures of some people who were touring here from Taiwan, and they loved the city, and they were downstairs right before the press conference. I saw them taking pictures. I said, "Do you want me to take a picture of both y'all in the picture?" So we got them in there talking to them. But again, it shows me what this community is and can do, and how far-reaching we are in what's going on. It is amazing to see every day the things that we're accomplishing and what we're doing. Obviously, we're going to continue to pursue those things for our airport and a variety of other things, but it's amazing for me to see every day just some of the tangible examples of what we do as a community and how people want to be here, whether they want to live here, whether they want to visit here. It's impressive to me as we continue to see. So I'm going to open up to our one journalist today. This is the Jim Little press conference. So Jim, what questions could we answer for you today?
Well, I guess you brought up FPL, and so have those negotiations restarted, and how's that been going?
They have not restarted. At this particular time, we are meeting with every council member. I think we have 2 council members left that we're meeting with this week. We're just trying to get everybody's schedules. We've had 5 council meetings. We've met as a staff. I think one of the big challenges that we ran into is knowing what we wanted to achieve, because it was fairly diverse, and so we had some ideas, certainly from staff and other things, but it was good for us to sit down with each of the council members and kind of try to put together as much as we could of what they want to something that will allow us to ask for it. We also have a totally different negotiating team this time. Obviously, we've got Kareth, Amy Miller, David, Amy Lavoie, and Charlie now, which is almost all new members on that team that is negotiating. So we'll reopen those discussions once we have a chance to kind of piece together what we do. We have been in discussions with if we could work with somebody and find somebody to help us with that. Once we know what we want to achieve, we still are looking at that possibility. I know Kareth has people that he's talked to that have done this, worked and negotiated directly with FP&L in cities and counties in Southeast Florida. So we're certainly working with some of those individuals who have helped cities in those areas. And but my thing is I don't want to hire anybody until I know what I want. First thing they're going to come to us is, what do you want us to negotiate? And we're going to, unless we had these meetings beforehand, we don't know where we'll be. But now that we've had them and going through that, I do expect this summer, late fall, probably in May, for us to be reopening that and seeing what we can do and seeing if we can find some solution. But again, as I've stressed all the time to council members, it's not my goal to do anything that puts Pensacola in a worse position. If I have to just sit there and do nothing, I'm not going to put myself in a worse position. So the only thing I'm going to bring to council is if I think we've got something that truly works better for us and helps us advance what we want to do and what we want to see related to things going on here in the city of Pensacola.
Is there, so you go with 5, that's the majority, I guess, is there a consensus has emerged about what?
There are some common themes. Yes, Jim, there are some common themes that we're working through, and then there are some that are out there. Again, that's the challenge of, that's what I try to explain to everybody having to do this is it's a little challenging because everybody wants something different. But there have been some consistent themes, and I think they've sort of gelled around some of the things that we already talked about. Some of the things talking about the time of the agreement and the ability to evaluate, if we can do a shorter term limit, and if we can't, we need openers in there. So I think those have been fairly consistent. I think there's a desire to make sure that rates are as low as possible to citizens. That we want to look at for as much ways as we can do renewables. So when they do a major solar farm in Escambia County, I think that's a good thing for us. Would I love to see the ability for our citizens to be able to do their own thing? Yeah, some of that we don't control through the net metering, but I think I don't understand that legislation. I think if we're going to make this happen, we've got to all work together. We've said it multiple times. I certainly respect and understand the individuals who decide to go into solar. But if we were waiting for all of us to go solar based on individuals, it wouldn't work. So you need an industrial kind of a large provider like somebody like an FP&L. It doesn't have to be, it could be anybody, but I mean, we need some kind of large industrial producer that would do that. And I think those are the things that will get us to where we want to go long term. But at the end of the day, I think it's really us working together, and that's what we're trying to promote. And then lastly, reliability. Obviously, we'd love to see undergrounding. We'd love to see working at ways to harden resiliency for our community as we go forward. It not only does it create resiliency, but it also creates some aesthetics. But I mean, we're not looking for aesthetics alone. I mean, what we're really looking to do is also make sure that our system is reliable and ready to come back and bounce back, because we know it's not a question, as I say many times, you live on the Gulf Coast, it's not a question of if you'll get a hurricane, it's a question of when. And so we just got to be prepared for when the next one happens so that we can bounce back fast.
And I guess, so is there anything about discussion about buyback provision that's in the current franchise, keeping that?
We would, I mean, those are some things that we would always have the ability to open and look at and evaluate. Those are things that we always want to look at. That's more the openers that I see for us at this particular time. I don't think creating our own franchise is in the right financial state. That doesn't mean that things couldn't change some period down the future, and the city council and the city needs the right to be able to say they want to do it then, even though I do not believe today it is financially feasible for us to do it. I don't think we could lower the rates in any way, and I think rates is probably the most important thing we do going forward. But we certainly don't know that with technology and what's happening that we think 30 years would be something we could feels appropriate at this particular time.
So no increase in the franchise fee then? Is that what?
That's pretty consistent all the way across. I mean, I've made it very clear that's my position. I don't think we've seen any council members necessarily disagree with that.
Do you have any thoughts on the last time I think we talked about it in here, and it just passed, and you hadn't heard the details, but the SB 620 about where local businesses can sue the city?
I know I've signed on as one of the mayors asking for that to be that legislation to be vetoed by the governor. While I doubt it's going to be successful in that point, I do think the league was very involved in enough to get it watered down into fairly constricted uses of it. So we were supportive of that. I know that Councilman Wiggins, Kareth, and myself were in Tallahassee discussing that with people, this spring. In a perfect world, I just don't like the bill at all. I think it just creates too many issues. In a practical world, I can live with where we are. It just, I've spent, Jim, 16 years of my life working for the local government, and believing in what local government does, and I don't see how this comes about. I understand the pressures that were put on that, but even or what brought this to the point. But again, when you're dealing with a pandemic situation, even that is excluded in the current legislation. So, I want to be very clear. In late April of 2020, almost 2 years ago, the city of Pensacola was ready to reopen. As a matter of fact, I unfortunately said we were going to open, and then the governor put us back the following weekend. We were ready to open. And once we've been open, we've been allowed to open with the governor, the city of Pensacola has never shut down. We haven't asked businesses to do anything. Other than we did ask them to work with masks before we had vaccines. Since we've had vaccines, we have not required anybody to do anything but to use better judgment and common sense, and certainly what we could within the public areas control those things. So at the end of the day, I think we find ourselves in a much better position with businesses economically, what we're doing, the success we've had here, and we've never tried to impose on anything on our businesses. And I think the rule, unfortunately, I don't think reflects the actual experience, at least what local government has done with businesses during this pandemic. Or at least let me say, Jim, in Northwest Florida. in Pensacola, that has been the case. And I understand there may have been other places in Florida that were more restrictive than we were. At the end of the day, I love the 68 Constitution, the home rule Constitution. I think it allows Florida to be very diverse. And you know what? If you don't like being in those places that restrict, there are other places within the state of Florida that do things differently. It allows people to move to those areas that they feel like do it right for them. And I think it allows you to be very fluid and flexible within your own state.
Have any other questions?
All right. Ask any questions. So again, unfortunately, we will not be with you the next 2 weeks. We'll be traveling. We will be with you on the 25th, but it will be at 9:45. Thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate it.